Alan was now so wounded he couldn't even pick himself up off the floor. He just laid on the floor in pain. His arms were still numb from Purple squeezing them so hard, and his legs were hurting from the fall. He was still so hungry from not eating a decent meal, as the spider was not enough to fill him up, so he was weak with no energy. Purple then ripped off his clothes and then picked him up and threw him onto the bed. At this point Alan knew there was nothing he could do to defend himself because his arms were still numb, so he couldn't lift them, and his legs were in pain from the fall, so he just accepted defeat. Purple then got on the bed and put Alan on his back. He then put Alan's feet over his shoulders and then pushed his tings inside of Alan and then started to clap Alan's cheeks. Helpless and defeated, Alan just laid on his back crying in pain while Purple banged his cheeks out. Purple was so happy because it just felt so good. As he was clapping Alan's cheeks, he shouted things like "Take it, white boy, take it," and also things like "You are my new girlfriend, you are my wife." Purple was in heaven as he clapped Alan's cheeks for hours. He then took his tings out of Alan and opened Alan's mouth wide open and finished off by spraying his warm cream pie all inside of Alan's mouth and all over his face. Alan's entire face was filled with warm cream pie. He then got up and walked over to the sink to spit the cream pie out of his mouth and also clean the load off of his face, but before he could spit the cream pie out of his mouth, Purple stopped him and said, "What are you doing, woman? You are going to drink my load." Alan, not wanting to upset Purple, just swallowed the entire load while also scooping as much of the load off his face as he could before eating it. Alan could not believe he was being forced to eat cream pie, but he had to do it. He then walked back to his bed to sleep, but Purple said, "Where are you going, woman? I'm not finished with you yet. That was a starter. I need some more of your sweet cheeks." Alan was hurting and didn't want to do it again, so he said, "Purple, please, can we finish this off tomorrow, because it's really late and I'm really tired now. I'm also sore. I'm hurting really bad." Purple now got angry and slapped Alan. The slap was so hard that Alan fell to the ground. Alan looked up at Purple and could see double. The slap was so hard that his vision and hearing went fuzzy. Purple then picked him up and threw him back on the bed. He then bent him over and pushed his tings all the way inside of Alan. Purple then started clapping Alan's cheeks again while saying to Alan, "Woman, you ain't going to deny me your sweet cheeks. I'll take your cheeks whenever I want them and not when you tell me when I can have them." Alan was still dazed by the slap as he laid on his belly wounded while Purple continued to clap his cheeks. This session lasted for 2 more hours before Purple started to feel the nice sensation in his tings. He then exploded inside of Alan. He sprayed his warm cream pie inside of Alan, filling him up. Purple clapped Alan's cheeks for so long that when he was finished, it was now the early hours of the morning and it was daylight outside. Purple now felt tired, so he went to lay down in Alan's bed. Alan then got up and walked over to the toilet to do a number 1 standing up, but before he could do it, Purple shouted saying, "Oi woman, don't let me have to walk over there and slap you again. You are a woman of the wing, so you pee sitting down." Not wanting to get turned out again, Alan instantly listened to Purple and sat down on the toilet seat to take a pee. As he was doing a number 1 sitting down, he could feel Purple's cream pie dripping out of his cheeks. As he sat down on the toilet seat, tears fell from his eyes. He thought to himself, "I shouldn't be in prison. I come from a good family. I shouldn't be here getting my back blown out by this booty-craving monster." As he sat on the toilet seat crying with more cream pie dripping out of him, Purple shouted at him saying, "Oi, hurry up and get into this bed with me, woman." Alan, not wanting to upset Purple, just got up and flushed the toilet and then washed his hands. He then walked over to the bed where he could see Purple laying under the covers with a sinister look on his face. As he continued to walk over, Purple lifted the covers with a massive smile on his face saying, "Get in, woman." Alan got into the bed and Purple put his arms around him. Purple's arms were huge and even bigger than Alan's legs. As Purple cuddled Alan before falling asleep, Alan just laid there with Purple's arm around him, unable to move.